All right, so look, real quick, this is my second guest to the channel. Super, just overall talented individual, does production, music producer, super talented, fashion influencer, clothing line ambassador, overall hustler, and someone who just gets it when it comes to certain areas of life in your adulthood as a man. I thought this would be a perfect person to bring on because we're like-minded individuals. Clap it up at home for LTLTrey.
Great intro, appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thank you for joining me. It's kind of late for me. He's a night owl, but appreciate you joining me. I just wanted to pretty much have a conversation with you, man, about what you got going on. And then also, I know that you got a lot of game that you can give to young cats, and my channel and content is directed towards young men coming up trying to find their way, you know? Real quick, if you could just give a brief introduction about who you are and kind of what you do.
LTLTrey, aka Trey Tracks. I've been doing production for about a decade. I've done songs with Vez, Ray, Peasy, Sada Baby, Skilla Baby, Bang Gang, Rest in Peace Will. Fashion, I've been in the clothing business for about 5 years now. Shorts, socks, hoodies. We did phone covers. Just a plethora of things as far as the clothes go.
Phone covers is fire.
Yeah, just mixing it up, you know. It's we about to get into some game early. A lot of people start the clothes and then they do the t-shirts and the socks and the hoodies, and that's cool, but it's a lot of small items that you can use to spread the word as far as your logo and your name and recognition, like phone covers, coffee mugs, stickers. That's a way to just get your visibility is key when you worrying about branding and things of that nature. Anything you put your logo on help.
Where did you get the idea? Was that something you came up with? Like, I don't want to just do clothing, I want to do phone cases and all that stuff too, or did you get inspired somewhere?
I think the idea is, how can I advertise without necessarily selling the clothes? So it was like, okay, after I sell the clothes, what else? How can my logo be seen on a regular day if you're not wearing the clothes? Okay, well, people drink coffee. Make coffee mugs, and you'll open up yourself to a different demographic, perhaps.
You have coffee mugs? You got?
Yes, I got coffee mugs. Yep, I got coffee mugs. I done did phone covers, stickers, posters, and those are things that you get a high quantity without paying so much.
Right.
Stickers are fairly cheap. Coffee mugs are like $2 a piece. So I mean, those are just ways of getting the brand out there.
Yeah.
Like, before you even come out with a product, you can do promotion just for people recognizing your logo. Your logo is very important. Like, it's like the McDonald's arch. Like,
what made you go with the logo that you went with?
Well, this is on the shirt. It's the cursive, and then you have like a more simpler flag. I think for me, the logo larger than life is just a clean, simple logo that you could put on anything, and it could appeal to any, genre, race, any category. It can pretty much fit. And so it's clear across the board, clean cut, and the flag is just something that can be duplicated on a lot of different platforms and formats and still be clean. Sometimes if you make a logo too complicated, it's hard to get it embroidered. It's hard to get it screen printed because you have so many details. So if you make a simplified logo, it'll be easier for other companies to print and reproduce, and you can do different techniques to get a better product.
That's actually genius. That's a bar. That's some game.
For all my youngins that's doing this clothing lines, the simpler the logo is, the better it will be for you in the long run, because you'll be able to switch over from screen press and heat press to possibly embroidery, stitching. It's a million different things you can do with your logo, and the simpler it is, the easier it makes on the company and easier to produce. So that's definitely, y'all don't listen to nothing else.
Right.
And
that logo.
Yeah, and a name. The name is key too, like Big Bank Entertainment and Big Bank Record. Like, all that stuff pertaining to your actual lifestyle is cool, but if you plan to veer out into a bigger demographic, you're gonna need something a little more vague that kind of covers across the board, because you never know where your clothing line may get.
Right. Everybody
don't connect with, Money Vault, clothing line, and from the, what I'm saying? All that is cool, but it's a ceiling.
Yeah, honestly, it's a certain audience that you're gonna attract, and that audience may not be as large as you would like.
Bingo.
How long you been producing?
I've been probably making beats for like.
Are you a beat maker or are you a producer?
Okay, yeah, that's a great question. I'm a producer. So a beat maker makes like 30, 40, 50 beats, which is cool. And they send them out, and however many they sell, that's great. But me, I'm a producer. I like to work more personally with the artist. Like, I won't work with everybody just because, well, I work with everybody, but I have a idea in mind when I work with an artist. I think a beat maker doesn't really have an idea. They pretty much just have beats and they selling them and making a profit, which is awesome. I think a producer is more hands-on and more intentional about the music he does and who he works with.
I know you mentioned some artists that you work with. Everyone in Detroit, in our city, are familiar with these names.
Yeah.
If you are out the city or somebody that's unfamiliar with the artists that you name, that you work with, how would you describe, I guess, importance of these artists that you're gonna work with here and like who they are to our city?
Yeah, okay, so I guess we'll start with Vez, Icewear Vezo. He's I guess you can say he's no longer a local artist, he's pretty national. And Peasy, Babyface Ray, Sada Baby, Skillet Baby, these are all people with deals now. So me working with them is a lot different than when we first started because we are all on the come up. So, you know, now it's a lot different. You have, you know, paperwork. For all the youngest, this jewel. For all the producers, get your paperwork in order. You know, your royalties, make sure you sign the ASCAP. Make sure you get your BDS spins. Make sure your business is in order before you pursue sending beats to these rappers.
Man, you can say that 100 more times.
It's not difficult, but it will take patience because you're not going to get the answer right off back. And even when you do see these documents and things of that nature, it's going to confuse you. So make sure when you get these documents, Google. Google is the secret.
It's your best friend.
The key to success is research. For all y'all youngins,
key to success is research.
The key to success is research. Most people refuse to do the research.
Yep.
You have an absolute advantage if you simply take 10 minutes out of your day. Whatever you about to do some beats, okay, do the research. Google copyrights, Google sampling, Google the paperwork, the contracts, the documents, and just look over them. And anything that you're confused about, then you do another Google and say, what does this phrase mean?
Yep.
What does this term mean? And then you can kind of put together and gauge what works for you, because you may not necessarily need all the legal documents. You might just be a producer on the come up. You just trying to make sure they give you a little credit. That's cool. Like, it's no wrong way to do it, but research is the key. Google, man.
Those are bars. Game to live by. Those are super bars. So you being a music producer and doing it for as long as you have and working with the cats that you don't work with, right? Would you say that you're someone that knows music? I'm asking you this because I'm gonna follow it up with another question.
Yes.
You're someone that knows music. How important is your music playlist in a car? How important is that?
As a producer, I guess as a producer, it's crazy because none of the music I actually listen to on a regular has any influence on the beats I make. But I think a playlist is important just if you're like courting a woman or you riding with your boys.
How much does your music playlist say about you, the person?
My playlist shows a variety of sides to me, which I think every person has and should tap into. Don't be afraid to throw that R&B song on your playlist. Don't be afraid to throw that alternative on there. And put it on shuffle. Don't put it in the order as if you find any click.
Okay, so
you know what I'm saying?
You pick up a chick, she get in your car. What type of playlist are you throwing your playlist on shuffle? Are you worried about what might come on, or you know for sure everything that's about to come on, you're gonna be straight with?
So I have like a couple different playlists. I have for sure mood setters, and then I have a life playlist, which is a combination of all my playlists put together. It's like 1,600 songs. And then I just shuffle and let life decide where we go.
So what you doing? Which playlist are you throwing on? You got a chick in the car. Which playlist you going?
Okay, if she is, it depends on her personality. If I know I can have fun a little bit and throw some, throw some funniness or some odd songs, I'll just go with the life song, and it'll have anything from like Mary J. Blige to Juvenile, DMX to Gunna to Little Baby, or so it's a wide variety. But sometimes I just know the ones that's gonna work. Let me just go ahead put on this Chris Brown.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Something neutral. You know what I'm saying? Right. Some women like listening to rap music, which is awesome, and that works too. But you just gotta feel your person out. That'll kind of. But the car ride is very important.
How important would you say
the car ride? I hate to put a number on it, but I just want to show the
importance.
Yes, 30% of how this woman perceives you, she may get the majority of her thoughts in that car ride.
Sheesh.
How you're driving? Can you control the car? Are you stepping on the brakes? Is it a smooth ride? Are you a speeder? Do you run the lights? Are you reckless?
Damn.
The song you playing, is it loud? Is it overbearing? Is the treble like? If you one of them people that like the bang where it's like kind of sound kind of raggedy, that could be a turn off, or it could be a turn on depending on your woman. But that ride, how you holding the wheel is important. Do you have control? Are you calm? Are you cool? Are you nervous?
You're giving way too much game. I feel like what you're saying right now should be sold.
I mean,
we're gonna give it for free, but I do feel like
it's but these are small. I think life is about details.
Yeah.
In the particulars, and people don't realize how important the small things are. If she get in the car and you listening to Black Youngster and she is into Chloe and Haley,
you're
it's a vibe killer.
You're cooking yourself.
So it's all about learning your person.
Okay, so we going. Okay, I don't want to dive too much into dating and all that stuff, but I feel like this is very important information that you're giving, because I know this information myself. I actually just had this conversation with a young lady very recently about this exact topic, and you spot on 100%. But if a cat is, high school, just got his first car, 16, 17, 18, he might not know what you're saying right now. He ain't experienced that yet.
Right.
So I will say, if you don't know your audience, right? How are you playing? Are you playing it super safe on a playlist?
Yeah.
How you playing?
I would keep it simple. You'll never lose keeping it basic and then build on there. Like, keep it simple, because first impressions last a lifetime. So whether you meeting a woman, your teacher, a teammate, a coach, make sure you keep it simple. Don't overdo it, because the first impression lasts a lifetime, and it's hard to redo those situations. So keep it simple. Even if you go in the extra mile, keep the extra mile simple.
Yeah, that's a bar. Don't be stupid with it, but you don't have to overdo. You don't have to overdo it.
Yeah.
In most areas of life, like, you don't have to overdo it, man. That's very important. Just keep it simple.
Keep it simple in a lot of aspects. And I know we were talking about dating, but the key to the playlist, that just all brings back to detail.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's going to keep you on the road to success, is understanding the importance of details. Whether it's a job application, a college test, trying out for the basketball team, trying out for the football team, learning the playbook, starting your business, and understanding the measurements of certain things so your logo could be perfectly centered in the t-shirt. Details, and the people who study the details are the ones that's successful. The details are so important because it's so easy to just do something. And the ones that win and lead the pack are the ones that master the art of detail.
They focus on the small things that the average person might not be.
For instance, I give you an example, North Face. North Face says, we're not gonna do a clothing line, we're going to be detailed and intentional about providing the best coat for cold weather. They don't wanna dive into this and dive into that. They say, we're gonna master winter clothes. We're gonna master the layers, making the most comfortable winter coat. And that's what you know what I'm saying? Like, master details, master your details. Like, don't just be all over the place.
Right.
So
master your craft.
Yeah, like get master something first before you get to jumping all the way over in the world. You know what I'm saying?
So people try to get into everything at one time. It's like,
take your time and put in the research, man. Research and details. That's the secret. Nobody reads no more. That's the game I'm gonna give you.
So far, we got 2 keys: research and detail.
Yeah.
These are 2 bars, 2 gems that y'all need to take with you and apply them to your life going forward. And so you got a clothing line, not just a clothing line. You got, like we already discussed, several different things. But on the topic of the clothing line, how important would you say is a man's appearance? Like, since we're talking about clothes, stepping out the house into the world, how important is your appearance as a man?
I mean, the appearance is so important. Like, that's everything. Unfortunately, perception is everything. Like, in the real world, we would love for people to just judge us by the actual work and our character and our nature and what we present, but that's not reality. The truth is, people are gonna look at you first and then they're gonna judge you.
Dang.
That's the reality of it. Like, in all honesty, it's a lot of shallowness out of here in the world. So how you look and how you present yourself is key to the response you get from people.
Sheesh. So you're saying it's important?
It's extremely important. It may be more important than the actual information you hold in your brain.
Your image and appearance might be more important than what you actually know.
Yes.
Who you actually are.
Yes. Because
is this just a black community thing, or is this across the board?
I think it's across the board because, I mean, if you appear to be broke, and we'll use broke loosely, if you appear to be broke, then that's pretty much a synonym for unsuccessful.
Damn.
So the information you're giving to me as a bum may not have the same value as someone that's hopping out of Benz.
Sheesh. Okay, all right, okay. I have a question since you just said that. You being a producer, right?
Right.
Do you think that, this might sound shallow, do you think that your production and then also like your interaction with clients and interaction with artists, right? Do you think that can go either way based on your image? Like, do you think your beats sound better if your image is a certain way? Or do you think like you can close a deal with an artist easier or more difficult if your image is a certain way? Like, if you look like a struggling producer, is it tougher than a producer that already looks successful?
I think image is everything, unfortunately. Like, I'm not gonna lie, in every aspect of life, what people see has a bearing on how they respond to you.
Yeah.
So if I pull up and I'm in my Benz and I say, I need such and such for this beat,
right,
when I hop out that Benz, they're not gonna question it because they know my price. I'm clearly a successful producer, so when I give you this ticket, you either can match it or you're not ready for me yet. But if I, grab the Uber, you know what I'm saying, and then I tell you I need this much, it's like, oh, you trying to get over on me.
Right. Oh, wow.
So perception can determine the confidence you have in your ticket price.
Sheesh, that's crazy.
So
it's not, your talent isn't determining how you feel about that price.
Like, I could play a bunch of hot beats, but if I look broke, the artist could say, okay, well, I'm a lowball him.
Right.
Because he looked like he need the money.
Right.
So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, let's say I ask for 500. I want 500 for this beat. He's gonna try to talk me down to 250, if not lower, because I appear that I need the money and I'm struggling.
That's wild.
They're not gonna.
Is that something that you've dealt with within your production music career?
No. Cause honestly, I always kept my fronts up, so
you were conscious of your image.
Yes, I'm very conscious. It's almost stopped me from working because if I didn't look a certain way, I didn't show up.
Wow.
And I wouldn't recommend to miss a lot of opportunities due to your insecurities, things of that nature. Sometimes you just gotta thug it out and make the best of it. But it's key. Like, how you look is key because a lot of artists wanted to deal with me because of what I brought to the table. Like, they just wanted to, okay, dog fly, every time I see him, he fly.
Yeah.
I just want to tap in. Then they hear the beat. And so everything is a brand. Even the production, you selling a whole lifestyle, really. Like, the Neptunes, for real, they were in the skateboard and they were wearing bathing ape watches. They were wearing skateboard shoes. So when an artist went to Pharrell, they weren't just grabbing a beat, they were grabbing a part of that lifestyle as well.
That's a fact.
And letting people know I'm cool. I'm just as cool. Yeah, I'm a street nigga, but I got enough sense to go over here into this world. And that's a cool factor.
Right.
The people you bring on your album lets people know how cool or how known you are.
Yeah.
Your look is everything. Now, if your look has to be you though. Like, Gucci, Louis, and all that stuff don't necessarily mean you a hot producer.
Right.
If it doesn't match what your demographic is or what your style or what your lifestyle is.
Right.
If you somebody in the woods, throw on your flannels and your Timberlands. It's all good. If you from the streets, throw on your Dickie suits. So whatever your style is, whatever is personal to you, you have to bring that to the forefront.
Long as your style is like clean and you're not looking.
Yeah, long as it matches your aesthetic. Like, even if it's, if it's grimy, and you're working with a lot of shooters.
What if the aesthetic is them looking bummy?
Then it works. But you have to, that's why the details in your research is so important. Understanding what your demographic is. A lot of people don't know what their demographic is. They may feel like because they're a certain age or they live in a certain place that this is automatically their demographic.
Right.
And that may not be true. So you have to really do the research. Like you may shoot a couple videos, do a couple beats, or sell a couple beats. See what your most successful item is if you're thinking about clothes. See what your most successful items are. The numbers will tell you what your demographic is.
Facts.
You don't determine that. You can kind of gear your production, your clothes, your advertising towards a certain demographic of people, but ultimately the numbers will tell you where you need to be headed.
Okay, that leads me to I had this conversation with a couple different artists. Do you decide what's hot? Like, okay, let's say you got a batch of beats, right? Mm-hmm. You may have some that in your head is doper than others, right?
Right.
Do you determine, or does the artist determine what's hot or what's good, or does the audience determine what's hot and what's good?
I think it's a little give and take. Like I personally have my favorite beats, but I understand that I don't represent the world.
Exactly.
So what my favorite beats are may not necessarily be the best beats. In fact, most of the beats that I figure are the best beats are the one that take me the longest to sell.
Wow.
I really just mix them up. I never tell an artist, well, these are the good beats, these are the bad beats. I don't even, because you never know. If you say, oh, these are my good beats,
right.
then once you're done with those, they're gonna be like, okay, so what's the rest of these?
Exactly.
So don't even put that, don't say nothing.
Don't say
Don't
nothing.
say anything, because you never know what these artists want. The beat I put in the back at the end of the collection, because I didn't think nobody would like it, is the beat that they're gonna buy. Like, you can't really rate none of the beats. There's no such thing as a bad beat. There's no such thing as a good beat. It's all about the artist you play the beat for.
Right.
So your garbage's beats or the beats you think is whack, keep them in the archive, and every time you send a pack out to somebody, put those in there.
Wow.
Put them in there. There's no such thing as a bad beat.
Yeah, because you just never know how someone hears something. You know what I'm
You
saying?
never know.
You can only hear how you hear. You never know what that
It's
artist
no,
you know?
I put everything I leave, I don't want to say leave it to chance, but I let the universe do its magic.
Yeah. Have you sold some beats that you didn't like, or played some beats that you didn't like, or do you keep beats that you don't like to yourself?
A million.
So beats you don't like, you will play that for an artist.
Listen, it's beats I think are terrible. I made in 5 minutes, and I'm like, this is garbage.
Yeah.
But I understand human nature.
Right.
I understand people gravitate towards different things for different reasons at different times. You can have a bunch of beats and they could all have high pitch, high vibration, high energy, happy music, and catch this artist at the wrong time, and he may reject all of them.
Dang.
And then you see him in 2 months, he got a girlfriend, he just had a daughter or anything, and
And
now
all
that
beats.
same collection of
Right.
beats is so, never give up on beats. Like, if you got beats, it's a free resource. You can sell it in April of 2022, 23, and you can sell it in December 2028. Like,
Sheesh.
it's still sound. Sound doesn't have an expiration date.
Okay. So this is my last question on production.
Hit me.
Your music can't get old? Beats don't get old?
No.
Sheesh. So you playing beats from 4 years ago?
I mean, in reality, since this game for the youngest, I just keep it 100. Everything works in cycles.
Right.
Everything works in cycles. Baggy pants, they'll be back in style in 2 years.
They back now.
That's what I'm saying. So you gotta understand, everything comes full circle. So the beats that it's gonna come back around, because the new shit gonna burn out. And the attention span of the world now, the circle is moving quicker than ever. So eventually we're gonna get tired of the short shorts, and somebody's gonna put on the baggy shorts again. And
That's
then
a fact.
we're gonna wear the baggy shorts for 2 summers, and then we're gonna go back to everything happens in a circle. So music is no different. You know, the game changed, and now they're resampling the hot old music.
Old music, yeah. They remaking all the
So
old. Right.
keep those beats on ice. Keep them, or sell them. Just present them. Just present them. Don't be scared to present any music to an artist. For one, the more beats you present, the more likely you are to sell a beat. You can let a person hear 6 of them and none of them ring a bell, and he decides, all right, yeah, I'm gonna get back with you. You play 20 beats, he's gonna psychologically gear towards something, because he's not gonna wanna walk away empty-handed.
Right.
He just played 20 beats. Maybe if I pick 3 and wake up in the morning and listen to
Right.
like, they're not gonna walk away
Right.
empty-handed with nothing. Like, if you have 20 beats and he don't grab one, you may want to reevaluate the sounds or the process you're using.
What would you tell your 14, 15-year-old self? What game would you give to your younger self that you would feel that you could have utilized growing up?
The code of the streets is complete bullshit. The rules and the keeping it real and real niggas don't do this, real niggas don't do that. I will say I played by the rules 100%. And what I learned was nobody plays the rules 100%.
Yeah.
So you being so solid is almost a disadvantage because somebody is gonna take advantage of the fact that you're not gonna do something because that's not the street code.
Damn.
So they already understand he's too real to do that. So I'm gonna do that move and just see what he do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So just understand nobody's playing by them rules. I mean, I know you hear him in rap music. I know as men we have all these talks, and I know it's difficult to hear. Like in some aspects, it's validity to the rules, and a lot of people follow them, but a lot of people break the codes. They're gonna hit on your girl behind your back.
Yeah.
They gonna tax you. They not gonna give you the plug. They may snitch on you. Like all this gang stuff. Like handle that with a grain of salt. Like keep it simple and keep it solid, but don't be a fool for these rules. And these niggas not loyal in these streets. These bitches not loyal in these streets.
I actually love that advice, man. But it's so tough, and I know you know this. It's so tough when you actually in it, when you actually growing up in it.
Yeah.
It's so tough to fight what you've been kind of trained and conditioned to think. Oh, I gotta be a certain kind of way, especially as a young man.
Yeah.
We got so much pressure put on us, you know what I'm saying, to move a certain kind of way, or you about to be viewed a certain kind of way, whether it be weirdo or soft or a snitch. Like you said, like it's so many different boxes that we kind of put in, and we want to fit in them boxes and stay in them boxes because we don't want to be judged and want to be.
The crazy shit, and I don't know, this is we about to have a weird moment. We about to go down a real world. But I believe the bosses, the head people in charge, whether it was the mafia or a street gang, or I think the head bosses needed rules to have somewhat control over the actions of these grown men and kids. So they put the street rules in to kind of give them guidelines where they had a little control. When you dealing with adults, everybody is for themselves.
Exactly.
But if you can humiliate a person by the decisions they make and say that's not real nigga shit, this not real nigga shit, you kind of control the gray areas that people can move in. So a boss say, I ain't gotta worry about snitching if I make this a, you know what I'm saying? And listen, let me be the first to make you, I don't condone snitching. I don't.
How you feel about what Gunna did? Was that snitching? And are
yes.
you still playing Gunna?
It's an unfortunate situation. I think it's an unfortunate situation for Gunna.
Is he canceled in your book? Did you delete all Gunna songs off your phone?
I haven't deleted them, but I don't listen to Gunna.
Okay. You never listen to him, or you don't
No,
listen to him?
I was actually a Gunna fan.
Oh, okay.
But I just think it was a circumstance where he said too much.
Yeah, he did.
You did, and it's not that you told on your friend, but you didn't make his case any easier. So if you're not gonna make the case better, then you say nothing and you walk down that road with him.
Yeah.
For you to be out and doing albums and he fighting for his life, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
So
it is. That's very tough. That's a whole different story. I will say personally, I did listen to the album, and I enjoyed majority.
I listened to it. He's a great artist. He's a great artist.
I enjoyed it. I added a lot of those songs to my phone. Does that make me a bad person?
No, listen, one thing I'm gonna say is, like I just said, all the street rules and all that shit,
matter.
I don't go by that shit. Like, I understand the street rules and it's pros and cons to each of them. But what's most important is understanding that the niggas around you can possibly break them rules, and you have to know that. Don't think everybody is solid as you. Don't think everybody's gonna move the same way as you. Because they're not. And you're gonna be disappointed when these niggas switch the rules up on you. But after that, like, there's nobody that controls that shit.
Right. And that's when you learn, when you see somebody break the rules, that's when you learn, that's when reality hits you.
Yeah, you like, oh, how you steal from your mans? Like, what you gonna understand is, if a nigga gotta feed his kids, he gotta feed his kids. And once you understand that part of life, you'll choose your friends better. That's the most important thing I could say. Like, these street rules and all this shit, man, that shit is...
It's not real. It's not real.
That shit cap. Like, it's rules, and it's, if you want to survive, but you know, that's why these type of pages are so important, so you can pick and choose the advice you choose to make. Like, there's no snitching. There's no snitching. But please understand, a nigga if that's not your girlfriend or your wife, he may, you know, shoot his shot. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but that's my, you know, it's gray areas in all those street rules, and it's
to the young niggas in the streets. Like, is it anything wrong with getting a job, with working a 9 to 5 and getting like legit money?
No, I mean, at the end of the day, this world is about a dollar bill. If you are broke, you're not gonna have any power. If
it
you
don't
have
matter.
no power, you have no respect. If you have no respect, there's no purpose of even being out.
So,
get money.
You would suggest to a young cat that may be in the streets, like, it's nothing wrong with
Why
don't young niggas want to work a job?
My people don't have a problem with working jobs. That's the thing. Like, my crew is the outliers. We didn't really follow the street rules. Like, we made our own. We moved how we wanted to move.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Even cats like may not necessarily be in the streets. They still just don't want to work. They feel like they have to be an entrepreneur or have to be like, you know,
Right.
like they can't punch a clock for anyone.
The reality is,
But they broke though.
y'all not in no position to get bank loans. So you need some type of financial backing. And sometimes that 9 to 5 is it, unfortunately. What you need to know is every road to wealth started with roadblocks and detours and a grind. Like, you not gonna be rich overnight. It's not all this shit on Instagram you seeing. This shit is a facade.
It's fake. It's not real life.
Like, what you're doing is you have an exposure to people who can live this life, but that's not the majority of the people in life. You're following a lot of successful people, true, but that's just a small percentage of people actually on the planet.
Extremely small percentage.
So what you seeing on your timeline is just the algorithm that you following. You're interested in clothes, you're interested in cars, you're interested in women. So Instagram is feeding you that because you respond to it, but the whole world ain't balling. The whole world ain't got a Rolex. The whole world not riding a Benz. The whole world is not wearing Chrome Heart. That's the reality. Is the average person is making 30 to 40,000 a year.
Facts.
That's the reality.
That's
y'all
hard,
want Jews, y'all want real life. The average person makes 30 to 40. So if a nigga making 100,000 a year, a young nigga laugh like 100,000 ain't nothing but a couple rollies. But the reality is that's a damn good life.
Yeah, he doing better than the majority of.
For a regular person, that's a damn good life. 100,000 a year is quite a bit of money, and you could live very well with 100,000.
Yeah,
you can
live
well with 60 to 70,000. So please don't get these numbers misconstrued because you so caught up in Instagram and rap music. The numbers are inflated by 100 in entertainment. It's made to entertain you. That's nowhere near reality though. Most people gonna make probably 40 to 50,000 in their life.
That's crazy. Every year, all year.
Get a job, man. Get a job, stack them checks, and then determine what you want to do with that money. But don't think you just gonna wake up and get on your grind. Cause you might be able to, but you might not be able to, and then all you doing is wasting time. You get a job, you could have start your business in 6 months instead of waiting a year and a half because you in and out of jail or you still ain't stacked enough. Like, a job is a for show check.
Right.
Every 2 weeks or every week you're gonna get whatever that money is, and that's better than no money. I ain't gonna say stop hustling. Cause if you got a good hustle, then work your hand. But if you don't, man, go ahead and get you a job.
Just get the money at the end of the day.
Get the money,
like,
cause you can't do nothing broke. You can't do nothing broke.
It ain't fun.
I hid my job when I was doing beats. Nobody never knew where I worked, but I never been unemployed. Like, just lay low, man. Stay out the way. Don't even talk about it. Like, don't talk about money. Like, don't even put it on Front Street. You know what I'm saying? And then it's no expectations. But if you always talking money, then you putting the pressure on yourself to always meet those standards.
To meet those expectations.
But when you lay low, not only do you attract more people because mystery has value, but nobody has a standard for you. There's no pressure. If you around here talking about you balling, you get money, this and all that. So every time they see you, you're expected to live up to that.
You better be on that.
And you're young, so you're putting pressure on yourself already.
For
if you
no reason.
16, 17 years old, it's a small percentage of y'all that's gonna make a substantial amount of money like an adult. So just do yourself a favor, man. Just relax. Get the money first. Get the money first.
Can we put that on a shirt, please?
Get the money first. Lay low and get the money first, man.
Get the money first. You got anything you want to promote? Website, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, anything you want to promote? How can the people find you and follow you?
Instagram, I could be found on LTLTrey, so letter L, letter T, letter L, Trey. On Twitter, it's the same thing, LTLTrey. The website is www.welcometoltl.com. That's where you can get all the clothes, you can see all the videos, you can see all the beats, all the discography, long list of the beats I've done, pictures. Just slide in the DM, y'all got any questions, comments, anything y'all need, just go to LTLTrey, hit me in the DM and I'll respond, man. I know this is a page about getting some knowledge, so if you'd have made it here, that's a part of the process.
Yeah.
Researching and doing your research, and so you're on a good path.
I want to say I appreciate you coming out. Thank you
for having me.
I feel like it's our duty as, older men to give game to the younger cats, give back to the younger cats, because it's a lot of things that I wish I would have known, and I'm sure it's a lot of things you wish you would have known or been told, from older cats to avoid a lot of the mistakes that we done made.
And another, so we talked about details and doing research, and all that ties into asking questions.
Yeah.
Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions, because the answer will give you what you need to know. Like, some questions won't be able to be answered, but if they can't answer, then it lets you know that there's some significance to it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You'll be surprised. Not having an answer is an answer sometimes.
Right.
If they can't tell you, that's how complicated it is, or that's how complex it is. So you do need to take more steps. So it's a good question. If the initial people in your circle don't know it, that makes it even more of an important question, because now you can help them and get them game. Ask questions, man. Learn, research, and details, man.
Literally.
People don't like to read, man. Give yourself an advantage. The nigga next to you, the person you want to rap, the nigga next to you, he's not Googling nothing. The producer, he's not Googling nothing. He's gonna try to watch what other niggas do, and he's gonna do it. The person that's doing man, I'm telling you, that's the biggest jewel, man.
Yeah.
As black people, we don't like to read. I hate the stereotype, and I hate to say it on this, but I'm telling you how much of an advantage it is. You will literally be able to charge people to do simple shit they can read and do themselves.
Man, oh my God.
It's a business. You can make a business out of learning simple things people are too lazy to do for themselves.
My God. That's another bar, dog.
I'm telling you.
People doing it right now. People are
Do
selling
the
courses
research
on shit that you can just literally go Google.
People, we are lazy. The people that learn, read, and do the research will always have a service to sell a lazy person.
With that being said, thank you, Trey. I appreciate you coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Please follow his channels. I got more videos on the way. Like, subscribe, share, man. If you know anybody that could use and benefit from any of this information, please send it to someone. Share it. Each one teach one. We're going to be back soon, man. Peace.
Peace out.